April 26, 9 p.m. Eastern Time in Canada. My name is Butoi and I would like to I got several dreams and visions with God, and I would like to share possible my thoughts on this new object that I personally know, the asteroid 1998 oR2. That's gonna make a close approach on April 29, and it's been hiding, though we had it in pictures, mankind. So it was pre-covery, and that means, well, it wasn't published picture before its discovery in 1986. But in 1998 we discovered it. So this asteroid is part of a ALMA group of asteroid, discovered by Jean Delport. Amor, which means Cupid, and another language, and Cupid, it's equal Eros in Greek mythology, and Eros is embodies power, driven, even to a sexual symbol, and profound artist fertility to a degree. So now this gonna pass. It's the brightest and largest potentially hazarded object, though it passes close, not like millions of kilometers from Earth. And there's other object will pass closer. I received personally a lot of dreams, and I want to share one or two really quick. I will try to make it quick. That is very urgent. I myself trying to get away from it, doing something else, and God is pressing this. And even when I look at my channel, the last dreams that I post almost daily for the last year or two, with several breaks, and even one time trying to run from God, everything is usually about prophetic on the short times, but also works about the comets. And this I realized on the last 2 weeks now. Today I posted already a dream I had about the murder of Princess Diana. Why I say murder? Well, let's say I don't have personally proofs, but what happened is that I was running. Okay, I know I figured out after Princess Diana. So let's say I'm running or you're running, and there's a middle of the street, and I was running, but I didn't push hard with my legs. Suddenly, I see another runner, and I heard people talk. They kind of look at me, but I don't see them. And as I'm jogging, I suddenly it goes faster and faster, and I'm thinking, why am I going so fast if I'm not even trying? Well, I couldn't break it. It just went. And then I remember I thought I was walking 1 second on the right sidewalk. Secondly, I'm in the middle of the street, and I'm just passing. And even these runner or something stop in the corner, and I'm passing a long corner. I see those marks on the street, and I heard that's the point, or something like this. Or let's say, I can't remember the exact word. It meant like somebody's watching me, and then like, there we go, like that's the action time. And I'm passing, and I'm hoping there's no car passing by, and it's desert, and I'm passing and I'm making it. But then right after it continues speeding, I'm going so fast, there's a bridge, and it goes under, no water. It's a city bridge in concrete, and as it goes a little bit down, because of that speed, I'm passing and I'm flying, and I'm saying, I hope I'm making it, and I'm about to touch the roof of my car to touch or something, and I'm floating for a few seconds, and I'm like, I'm almost making it, and boom, I'm crashing it. And then, having had the previous call from God that I was dead, I'm like, okay, what now? Because it lasts 2 seconds, and that's many years ago. I had one. Excuse me to mention this, but I'm like, what? Because usually God doesn't lose even a second in dreams. I'm like, okay, and I was living it. I woke up, I had a heartbeat so fast, like it happened only one or twice. The other one was Jesus showing me what he feels when one soul goes to perdition, and I couldn't move for 5 minutes, and I was already crying, though it lasts for 3-4 seconds. That's how God is feeling. And this one, I'm like, boom, 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 when I woke up. And what happened is that I crashed. I didn't know it was about Princess Diana. I searched it after. I crashed, and then I'm like, now what? And a car, suddenly, the same point of view I was seeing, a car comes and, like a car when it shows and the tire, but then water comes out of the concrete and above me. That's gonna be ripple effect tsunami. And so I personally believe that that's what happened. The car was couldn't they couldn't brake. I was like the driver. I was in front seat. Uh, that's my personal and the voice I heard, it was almost like if they push a button or something, and now the car couldn't go back. So I didn't know. Only after today, I looked for about 10 minutes the what happened to the car crash of Lady Diana. And the reason I ended up with Diana, it was that I think I looked at the a bridge, and the point is that there's a ALMA, just like the bridge is called ALMA. There's a bridge called ALMA, and there's a New York City, and God will give me that there's gonna be a tsunami in New York City, and that's in Paris, and it's called Rue, which means street, New York City, very close to that bridge. So that's one point. And the ALMA, it's also an observatory, and they observe one of the two comets that's gonna pass in April, possibly even this one, but the other one is called uh, 2020, I think, Borisov, and I2 Borisov, the interstellar, or and or HP 2020, and there's a lot of comets and asteroids. And God, even a few days ago when I didn't want to share no more about stellars, it kept pressing me like. I stack a little bit, a little bit of stuff, doing some groceries, and I see my dad. I didn't grow up on this earth, and he opened a fridge like it's this YouTube when I put the channel, I guess, and he puts on the left two grilled cheese, like cheese, sliced cheese, and it's like this movie, grilled cheese, and then me, I'm putting a big cheddar like this, longer, and he says that one. I'm putting it on, shed R. So I believe that God is telling me with all these new things, comet, asteroid, that it's rather a comet. Finally, I had another dream, but this video is getting long. I'm gonna take my breath. What I believe is that either God wants me to put this as sign, as revelation of the Spirit, so people understand, because I received it before I knew about all this. And the connection between Alma and the bridge, it's better, it's an article, they put it online on the 20 April about Alma and this comet. So that's another sign, but I want to talk here about also God's vengeance, because God's vengeance now, he gave me before of a leader, and I was in a leader meeting, and I published it and talk about it, and now Kim Jong-un died, and I told Putin, you're done, because of the armament. When comets were coming, they was still wanted to use a technology for arm, which now I think is the Starlink satellite, because I knew it was a spying, and I'm like, you're done, because his general was pushing the agenda, and he didn't care when I saw those signs in the sky, in clouds, and I'm like, you're done. And then walk to my right, which is east, and Gaddafi had a gun, and I was sitting on the bottom in front of his desk, and I was myself and somebody in my left, and very close by, and the other one close by were like dust, phantom, white, and a comet, which I didn't know. I published this on 5th April, is and deleted the first one, or 30 March, 1st April, that one, I believe. Yes. 30 March, I just deleted today because I woke up in subway and I had this vision, was homeless, and this thing, while I was outside by choice, Gaddafi took the gun, shoot the guy on my left, which nucleus comets is by blue and white. And white is mostly dust, and blue is iron, and he shoot it so fast I thought I was shot. And I want to tell you something before Kim Jong Un, you know, try to make the peace. I pray for him. I said, God, I saw, make him see. You know, it was, I believe, 1997. And then at the end of the year or beginning of 1998, 1998, 2018. And within 2 weeks, meet with President Trump, open the border. I'm sure you saw it. And in Christianity, that's called your fruits, but you gotta nourish it. Because if you fall, usually it's like a tree that takes source from the tree and you lose your fruits. So that's why the importance of Christian to keep on the right path, because people who are looking at you and receive it, sometimes they look at you for example. And I was not always good at that because of for many reasons. My background was artist, didn't have there's thousands of ways to excuse itself, but not as good really. Because if you really love God, you will persevere, and you have to listen. Saying this, I believe that this was Kim Jong Un, and representing the East, and the fragmentation between left and right. And before I said I saw in the sky dove of peace and another on the right, which I couldn't figure what now. And and this is what it looks like happened. And one from the east was taken out later. And I'm very sorry. Right now they say it might be in vegetative state, and I feel very sorry. I feel sorry that the Pope Benedict, the real Pope, has been cast aside by a sect and this anti-Pope, because he even called the Pope, but obviously this fake one did this evil one didn't go, not chosen by God at the very least. So, and I believe that Ratzinger Pope he would have went, and of course I feel guilty. And even that dream after Gaddafi give me the gun, which is God's vengeance, and people who don't understand Christians is because maybe you lukewarm with Gaddafi. At least I have to give you the notion that he didn't took the arms. That's why it was God's children. You're judged by what you know. And he didn't took nuclear war despite having apparently $500 billion, the most rich, one of the most rich in history, apparently one of the even top 10. Somebody told me in a list from an article online. I'm not sure the accuracy of this, but I'm pretty sure he could have bought the arms. And he said in Larry King CNN that I looked after that recently, that they took when there was the revolution, since he was a general, he decided with his people around him to not take that nuclear war, because this is evil. It has to go somewhere, you know. Imagine even catastrophic, and it even something happens, and then that bomb, maybe I don't know if it works like this, can jump. So it's very dirty. Why doing something when you have to take it out? Because if you don't, then it's gonna use to destruction. So it's useless if you're good intention. So obviously the bad man. So he was like a star for these leaders, not for the church maybe, but for the leaders. And at one point, they got the greed on it and they attack him. And some say that Putin didn't protect him since he was the East. But I don't want to put fingers. I just want to say that God showing me that you're done, and the vengeance of God. And now with Lady Diana is almost a second vengeance of the innocent, the blood that is screaming. Look how he died. Kim Jong Un right now, vegetative, and we know that there was so-called. They accuse a student to be a spy. I'm not sure if it's true or not, trying to steal something, and they send back him vegetative mode, and he comes back. Sooner or later, you have to pay. And I feel sorry, man, because I know I think he saw God. He tried, and sometimes, you know, if you don't keep God, you fall back in sin or something, or you let things around you, just like Putin. I'm like, are you gonna use this for spying again? And he's like, like tepidity. They just, or like the priest today, they don't fight when the devil comes. They just let it happen. God, show me another dream. And this is not good. If you're a leader, you have to. That's your duty, actually. That's why you're a leader. That's why they give you things to make decision. When the rust come, when the devil creeps in, you have to push him back, and you have God for that, and many resources that we mere mortals or the poor next door doesn't have. And I want to add probably just one more vision. I'm going to take my breath. Yes, after I said on 5th April that there's are the hidden bodies, and then later this week, which is about 3 weeks later, and I say a little bit the shame, and some people will try and even to steal my plans, or I don't know to what point they started before, and then I hashtag and they went and looked it up. But I was talking about two pillars, and in Montreal where I was, it's the center theaters, and they discovered 3 weeks later in the center, when I say there's are the body behind that green wall, and it's concrete, and you couldn't go. Concrete meaning the interstellars, and they discover first thing, and I said they wanted to give me a medal. So they discover a first population of asteroids, interstellar, the first one in Centaur. And even afterward, I asked God some degrees. I'm not sure, but it's around there in the center. He gave me 1771, and then a day later, 37. And the 1771, there was a minus. So when I looked about this constellation center, there is about this degrees, and it moved, and it's in center, and it was a man and a woman sit close to me, and the man came, and it's actually a man and a woman who find it, and the guy looked over my shoulder. So if they did that, therefore it hurt me that day. It did hurt me, and I went to sleep in a bubble, and I didn't publish this dream for I think 4 days, and it was something new. I went and I said, God, just give me something sports so I can have money for me. But God, He gave me something new. I said, I want something nobody had. If you tell me, went to sleep on my bubble, and this dream came. But I start back sharing because it doesn't do me good. You have to share, and that's my job. And otherwise, I'll just be depressed and eat. So the dream was as follow. I was hiding, and I asked God something sport, but now there's no sport. So there's like esports and all kinds of sport they playing online, which I don't. Even with gun shootings with teams, and one is called Counter Strike, and it's called I didn't know, hide and seek. But I'm hiding there, and there's something in front of me like a rock, but I'm hiding, but you can see above me, and I'm looking in front of me as I'm almost a sniper, and I heard she's showing great patience by hiding behind gigantic adverse force, and something like this, and it was like in my 11 o'clock or something. Now these that I just spoke, this Comet 1998 oR2, you see, she's showing great patience. They didn't discover her, she was pre-covery in 86 and only in 1998. Matter of fact, in 1998 I finished my school, high school. I never went back to school, and I was an artist full time. And I still, after all discovery I did in art, even without God, even with I was painting with left to right and one line. I did true poetry before, music, you call it. Every time I ended up uh, discarding it for whatever reasons. And all the greatest ones you've seen, or the ones that made history, I should say, because only God is great. They were under me since the beginning in my soul, and ask and you shall receive. So all praise to God for this. Even in writings, I wanted to find the truth. So I saying this. There's, I didn't get my wine as an artist and shine for them, and the peace in the world, and a mix between artists and maybe showing the way to leaders and what meeting they do. I do apologize for that. And I didn't know God. Probably I would have been a priest, but that was the will of God. But I fell from grace. Uh, I did something wrong. Um, One time I tried to kill, and my health was never the same. I got hit here after an operation. I couldn't close my eye, and I was a child before a blob, so it went very hard. I couldn't eat, or I would go completely blind. So anyway, so there we go. 20 years lost from 20 to 40. Well, not lost, and it has an eccentric orbit. This AMOR group, like I said in my left. So there's other signs like this, and another one this summer. I wanted to buy a computer laptop to do things which I always had only my phone. That's why it's not right edited. It's kind of hard to do on the phone, or not pleasant. And despite God asking me a little bit, I've done it a little bit with the square and editing. For the computers, which I had Macs, all kinds of other computers, he told me HP. Now this Comet 2020 that passes April, it's called HP. That's another one. I'm gonna make another video. And no, I haven't paused an hour to study all these comments because I don't have time. I have my own dreams to share, think about it, and my personal life and my life outside. So thank you. Try to do the next one on it. Feel free to share if it helps you and this ministry, uh, by videos, by liking the videos, and all any ways you feel blessed to share. There's also PayPal donation, but you know what? Wait 2 days at least for April 29, and buy yourself some provision just in case, and try to keep safe. Try to pray the Lord, get close to Him. God bless you. That's the most important for you, Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Amen.